Jay Shuler, baby. Molly. Everybody hates you, everybody not you. Some people lack integrity, some of them look like you. See they reflection in your eyes, some people run when they can't hide. I've been outside the line so long, it's like I'm courtside. Where I belong is irrelevant, no, I'm special, I'm heaven sent. No, some people I can't forget, no, some pictures. Welcome back to the Everybody Hates You podcast. I'm your host, Jay Shuler, and today my guest is the one and only Dean Gibson.
Yo. How you guys doing out there?
Tell me about yourself, man. Who are you? Where are you from, and what do you do for a living?
All right, so as you said, my name is Dean Gibson. I am from Kentucky. Not a lot of people realize that. But
I did not realize that until this week.
From Kentucky. I moved here about 8 years ago to pursue my career as a full-time filmmaker.
Awesome. You're not only a filmmaker, but you're a photographer, and you travel around the world.
Yeah. So I actually started in graphic design. So I have a whole bachelor's degree in fine arts and graphic design. And that's where I learned a lot about branding and that kind of stuff. And then I picked up a camera my last semester of school and pretty much started doing photography and graphic design. Once I moved here, everybody wanted to know if I do video. So that's when I switched to flipped a little switch on the camera to video and started learning videos.
Okay, so graphic designer, your last year, you pick up a camera and you're like, so you combine both. But what was the first camera you picked up?
Oh, shoot. Man, the very first camera was some janky Nikon, like point and shoot zoom camera. But then like my first professional camera where I could put a lens on it was the Canon T3i.
The Canon T3i.
Yeah.
So many people have started with that. So that was your introduction? Like, did it just happen? Camera just fell in your lap, or was it like?
Yeah, it was funny because I pretty much went through my whole degree or whatever, and I had like one elective I needed, right? And my mom was like, "Why don't you try like photography?" And I was like, okay, cool, I'll try it. And I got this, I got into the class or whatever, and basically the teacher that I had was just a badass dude. Like, he used to shoot for like the Chicago Bulls, the Tribune. He used to shoot Michael Jordan's pictures. He was like front covers of the newspaper and stuff like that. And like, he pulled out some of his toys. Like, he had the 1DX at the time. You know about that camera? Mm-hmm. He pulled it out and he goes, I was just like, holy shit, that's dope. And he said he shot like a ton of sports and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, long story short, he just made the process of learning like the basics of the camera super easy. And that's really all he taught. It was just like an intro class to photography. And he just kind of taught us a little about like composition, like how to use the settings and that kind of stuff, and lighting a little bit. But it was very basic. It was just like a very intro class. And from there, I was just like inspired, because the difference between like photography and graphic design is graphic design, you're starting from a white screen every time and you're stuck behind a computer all the time. So I learned that you could do graphics with photography. So that's what I actually started doing, a lot of like music related graphics, so like cover art and that kind of stuff. Nice. So I would take photos of people and then use my graphics skills to like design the covers.
That's dope. And your mom saw the vision before you did.
Yeah. She's a visionary for sure.
She was like, photography. She knew. And okay. Well, okay. When and what was your first professional like videography, cinematography, or photography gig?
So, I think the very first project I got paid on was a shitty trap music video. I think at the time I was doing like 2 for $150 type shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing just really low end music videos, and I pulled up in the hood. It was funny. I was actually talking to my friend because my friend helped me on the shoot, and I pulled up with a laundry basket with some clamp lights, bro, and some gels from Hobby Lobby. So I like gelled the lamps, and like I made this banger little video, bro. It still hits to this day.
You still have it up?
I have it.
I'm copying and pasting it so people can see the just the progress, like that you start like that. You know what I mean? You see you're doing 2 videos, probably in shady neighborhoods.
100%.
100%.
Bro, I've been in a lot of places I probably shouldn't have been.
Oh my gosh. Oh, when did you decide that this was a career that you wanted to pursue? Like, you're like, I want to do this full time.
Whenever I decided I don't want to work a job, pretty much I learned you could make money with the camera, and then I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I tried to do stuff even after college. I like my brother, he owns like a financial agency and stuff. So I started trying to do like insurance sales and stuff like that, bro. And it was trash. I was terrible at it. And it's mainly because my heart wasn't in it. You know, like I knew you could make a lot of money, but I wasn't happy doing it, you know? So using my creative skills to be able to like build something, I thought that would be way more fun to pursue.
I love that. That's important, dude, because you can get into these jobs and just end up hating your life because you're not doing what you need to be doing. And then, like you said, you're trash at it. I feel like the universe will push you out. Like, this is not where you're supposed to be, dude. Get out of here.
Bro. I wasted a lot of time and money on that.
So what's it like pursuing this career here in Atlanta? Did you pursue it a bit in Kentucky before you decided to come here, or?
Yeah, so Kentucky is super slow, right? So I was doing some graphics and stuff like that with a lot of local artists. There's not like a lot of big names out that way, or at the time there wasn't, and I wasn't really tapped in like that. But I just lost what I was gonna say. No. Basically, it was so slow that I realized that I had to get out, and I was working with the artist at the time. I'll just tell you the story of how I got to Atlanta. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
I was working with the artist. I was recording her music, so I started the engineering and stuff like that, because it all goes together, bro. All this art stuff, it's all the same type of programs and that kind of stuff.
It's so surprising though, because I didn't know that about you, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's what really sparked it. Whenever I first started getting into all the graphics and everything, I was heavily in the music stuff. Like, I really liked music, man. So I was like meeting artists. I'd be like, hey, you want to come record? And I had a studio set up in my closet, bro. Like, that's what. Yeah. It was in my apartment. It was like a utility closet that had like a room that had like the washer and dryer, and then it was like a long rectangle, like 3.5 foot by 6 foot room that I put the padding in there.
The sound had to be sick in it.
Yeah, I put padding all in there, and I had my little desk, and basically I was sitting up against the wall, and like I had them behind me recording, bro. Like, it was so many memories in that room alone. But anyways, I quickly realized engineering was not for me. It was annoying, bro. Like, hearing this, come in. I wasn't with that, you know. It was giving me headaches and all this kind of shit. But pretty much I was working with the artist, and she had moved down here before me, right? She had already made the move. She lived with her boyfriend at the time. And long story short, she invited me down for like her birthday party one time. And I just came down, right? I came down. I was just going to go out, go to the club, whatever. They took me to the studio where she recorded some music. It was a janky studio. It wasn't even nothing crazy, but I was just like, my mind was blown, right? Because like in Kentucky, there wasn't much of this kind of stuff going on. And just seeing the city and all this stuff, bro. And I was just ready for a change. You know, I wasn't doing much back home. And she was like, look, we're about to move into a house, and we're going to have an extra bedroom. Do you want to move? And I was like, well, how much is it? Blah, 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 right? Because I was broke. And everything worked out logistically. I paid like my rent for 2 months. This was literally a week later. They were like, I was sending deposits for my rent, bro.
Hell
so
yeah.
1 week, I was like, all right, it's time to go. I told my mom, I was like, I think I'm going to move to Atlanta. She was like, go. My mom's always, she's always been the one to just like push me to do like the things that I want to do. My dad's way more conservative, and even to this day, he's still like, you sure you don't want to just go get a job?
It's balance.
Yeah, so I don't listen to him that much on that end. But yeah, so I moved down here, and it was very unorthodox, bro. I didn't have much going on. I didn't have a business. I didn't have brand. I didn't have none of that stuff. I had a camera and some skills that I learned from college. And then I just knew I liked music, and I was just like, yeah, I'll come down. So I paid my rent for 2 months, and I had like $500, bro. I just moved down here. I had a mattress on the floor, and we just got to work. So I started going to like open mics, a bunch of open mics throughout the night. I would be out to like 3, 4 a.m., bro, just like trying to network, meet people. Yeah. So like people would be performing, I would take pictures, right? This is before I did video. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I'm so used to, I know you was doing video too, so I'm like thinking you're doing video. This is just you doing photography.
Just taking pictures.
This is wild.
And I was getting some fire like performance pictures and stuff like that, and I would go show them, and I would like try to sell pictures at the end of the night, right? And you know, I would make $20 here, 30, 40, $50 here. Like, good night be like $100. You know what I mean? I remember one night was the best night. I was like, this is the night that I knew I made it. I was sitting in my bed, and I came home. It was like 4 a.m., bro. I'm counting the cash, and it was like $180, $200 or some shit like that. I was like, I just made what I was making at my part-time job in a week. I was like, I'm going to keep going. You know, I remember even putting that money like under my pillow as I'm laying in the bed, dead, bro. Like it's like 4 a.m. I'm so like no rest. I'm like running myself crazy to get this money. And like I said, it was very unorthodox, but a lot of people were asking me at the end of the day, like, do you shoot video? I was like, shit, you know, like, so that's when I started flipping over. And what I would start doing, bro, is I would shoot like half of the song and then I would take photos of the other half. So I would have at least the 60 seconds or so that I could chop up like a little reel. And then people started buying those more, right? And then eventually it led into like, hey, do you do music videos? So then I started shooting music videos. The budget started going up a little bit, still like $200-$300 type shit, right? And as that went on, like, it wasn't very sustainable, bro. Like, it's hard. Like, a lot of time spent like just wondering if I was going to be able to make it. Somehow I was always able to come up with my rent at the end of the month. It could be like a couple days before and I'm still wondering, and I was able to somehow lock it in every time, right? So that's what kind of kept me going. And then after that, like, I was actually shooting, like, we'll fast forward a little bit. I started shooting behind the scenes for artists and stuff like that were more established, and I got tied in with this label, and the label was hiring me to kind of like follow the artists around. We would go to like, you know, it would be a music video behind the scenes, or if we're going to a club in the VIP section, that kind of stuff, right?
Nice. Okay.
So one night we were at the club. I don't know if it's like Medusa or something. I can't even remember the club's names out here. I've been to like all of them. But we went to the club and I'm shooting, getting like random stuff. And this girl came up to me at the end and she was like, hey, have you ever shot a wedding? And I was like, no. And like, I had zero desire to shoot a wedding, bro. I was like, this shit is boring. I don't want nothing to do with weddings. I'm trying to be creative. I want to be a music video director, whatever, right? And she was like, I got a friend that owns a wedding company and she's always looking for like cool shooters and video people. And she was like, I see how you're shooting and I think you might be a good fit. And she was like, I'll give you her contact. 7 years later, here I am, but I shot weddings for like 7 years. Basically, I linked up with this lady that owns the company, and it's actually, her niche was like Indian and Pakistani weddings. As you know, that's kind of how we met. So I started shooting a ton of weddings, and that's really what helped me get my money right. You know what I mean? A lot more money for the work that I was doing, still putting in a ton of hours though. So like, that was kind of like the problem that I was having at that time. There was sometimes like, I think one year we shot like 56 weddings, bro. And we were shooting, it's like 3 and 4 day weddings too. Exactly. So it's not even like a little weekend thing. It's like a whole weekend. You got this little gap in between and you got a whole nother wedding coming up 4 days later type shit, right?
56 weddings.
Yeah. And we were editing all of our own stuff too. So that's where the burnout came.
Yeah, I don't know if people understand, especially with the Southeast Asian weddings. They go hard, like 3-4 days. So you're doing that 56 times. It's not like regular weddings where it's just one day. That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that's crazy because the belief in yourself, the determination, and also just being aware of the situation and being like, okay, so what's my trajectory? Because you come in. First of all, you move here, new city, $500 in your pocket, and you're like, okay, I can do photography. But then you start seeing, okay, you're seeing what the clients actually need on top of the skills that you provide. Then you're skipping also too, you learning those skills and perfecting them to get people to pay them. And then you keep doing the work and putting in the hours to have that opportunity come and you be ready for it.
100%. Yeah, I think what really sharpened my skills for video is whenever I was shooting these videos, bro, it would, like I said, it would be like the recap videos. It'd be like little just 60-second videos that I'm turning around. But the thing is, I would go home after the club and edit that so they would have it by the next day. And that's what a lot of people aren't doing these days. They don't realize the repetition and the consistency that it took to even learn this stuff. I didn't know shit about it, bro. If you go look at those videos, half of them are out of focus. I didn't have autofocus. It was like I was on a glide cam and I would set the focus and I'd like try to keep my distance. And that was it, bro. Like, but if you look back at them, like, these people love those videos. Like, it It didn't even matter. You know what I mean?
It's a consistency, and it's a muscle. At the end of the day, it's just like if you stop working out, you're gonna get flabby. If you don't keep going at it, you're not editing, you're not shooting a lot. I felt like sometimes if I even take like a week or two off, I feel a little rusty when I get back to it.
100%, bro.
So it's like it's really interesting that way. So I'm from Jersey, and I'm used to being a minority in most situations, but out here I'm realizing like it's really diverse the more and more I dive into it. And I just found out that this about you at the workshop we're at the last week, that you're half Puerto Rican. I didn't realize that. How does it feel being here? Like because I'm not familiar with Kentucky. Like how does it feel, like the diversity? Do you feel that when you're working a lot?
Yeah, so nobody really knows I'm Puerto Rican, to be honest.
Is it okay to say?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's one of the little secrets you guys get today. But my mom is Puerto Rican, my dad's white. But like I said, I grew up in Kentucky. It's super whitewashed there. Like I think in my school, we probably had less than 10 Hispanic people. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot of people speaking Spanish and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I never learned to speak Spanish because of, I think, my region. When I got here, the culture flipped, you know? A lot less white people in Atlanta. If you've ever been in Atlanta, you'll know. And everybody looks at me as the white boy, right? And I swear to God, bro, when I was in the clubs, I was the only fair-skinned person every single time, bro. Like, there may have been one other guy, but he was like a bartender or some shit. I think it could have helped me a little bit because people start to remember my face and stuff like that. I'm that white dude that's always shooting, right? But as far as like the culture here for me, like I still haven't really tapped into like a Hispanic culture here in Atlanta. It's a lot more African American and rap and hip hop and that kind of stuff, which is great. Like I love it all, to be honest. So yeah, I've definitely seen more culture for sure. But I'm still trying to tap into my side. Yeah.
So am I. There's definitely a Latin community here. A DJ that I did an episode with last week, like in what was it, like a mansion party I did last summer. I'm like, oh, y'all are out here. Y'all just are in a different part of Atlanta.
They're hidden, man.
they are hidden, but they're out here because I start following a lot of them. That's how I got in touch with a bunch of like Mexican and Cuban restaurants, because I've been looking for them. I'm from Jersey City, so I'm used to being around Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all of that. So that's how I've been looking for that. I was honestly looking for a Dominican barber when I first got down here. So I just love the culture. So
it's funny, my barber is from Venezuela, like my tattoo artists are from Venezuela. I somehow still find my people, you know, but it's tough.
I love that. I always like to get people's different perspective of it, because I feel like even people call Atlanta like, oh, Wakanda and all of this stuff, but I still felt culture shocked when I got down here.
100%.
So it's like I love getting people's perspective on that. You recently started mentorship. What can someone expect to learn from you in a mentorship with you?
Yeah, so I've been dabbling with the idea for a while, and I was always like kind of stuck on what I wanted to teach, but then I realized like a lot of people really just need the basics, you know? They just want to learn how to use the camera. So that's what I tailored this recent mentorship. I actually have a mentee that we started like a 7-day challenge. And within that challenge, I'm basically trying to teach him not only just the settings of the camera, but camera movement, how to edit, and all pretty much ABCs to how to shoot and edit your own video in 7 days. Like enough to navigate. It's not like crazy effects and all this kind of stuff. It's just basic, like how to get a video from the camera, your vision to the camera, to the edit, and then out, right? So his little situation was he was like what do you call it? He's a chauffeur, I guess you say, for luxury cars. Okay. So he was shooting a lot of stuff on his phone, but he wanted to get better, and he wanted to learn how to do it on a real camera. So that's what that one is tailored to. But pretty much my goal is to like anybody that wants to like learn just the basics of how to get into photography or videography, just how to use this tool, you know, in general, because most people pick it up and they see all these dials and buttons and numbers, and it's way easier once you actually have somebody that can just show you, like, you don't need 90% of the stuff that's on the camera. These are the things that you need to know, right?
I love that. It's a 7-day challenge, and you're tailoring it to each person, so it's a actual one-on-one experience.
Yeah. So that was the 7-day thing. To me, I think is best for people that have literally never touched a camera. But I do want to bring on mentees that need like higher level expertise too. So someone maybe that's already been in the game for a couple of years that want to know how to transition to a different industry or whatever the case may be, how to charge and that kind of stuff. So it's really like my main goal though is to make sure that people aren't doing the same mistakes that I did. So it's more than just learning that. It's like I'm going to cut the learning curve of not only how to work with clients, but also like how to learn this stuff as fast as possible to be able to start making money.
Oh, man, dude, I love that. I feel like that is an unspoken job of an artist. Like if you can help the next person come along and avoid the mistakes that you've made so they can get further ahead, I believe that's like the paying it forward.
100%, bro. I wish I had somebody that taught me this. Is what it is.
That's what I always say to people, and I'm like, I'm genuinely trying to help you from a place like from our heart, because people are always skeptical because scammers. But I'm like, dude, I just wish someone showed me this. That's all I wish.
100%, bro.
So, is the pay good as a filmmaker and photographer, and how does today's economy affect your industry?
The pay depends on your work ethic at the end of the day. It's like I told my mentee, he was like, I don't know if the investment's worth it. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make money. I'm like, man, I can't make you go work. I can't make you get clients. I can show you how, but I can't physically make you do it. It comes with your own mindset. And that's another thing that I like to teach too. A lot of this is mindset, bro. Like I heard somebody say one time before, it's called a delusional optimist. That's what it is. I'm a delusional optimist. I'm just going off faith, bro. Like basically this is like one of the hardest things to conquer is really your mindset, especially in like the freelance world and that kind of stuff, because as you know, like it's always a roller coaster. And that's where a lot of people can't go through that process. They always give up, you know what I mean? But that's what I really want to just preach to people is like the mindset is like probably one of the most powerful things that you need to train to be able to be in this field in general. It takes
you have to just be strong-minded and just have that faith in yourself and know yourself and be realistic. But like you said, also be a little delusional, just because you have to be able to see that vision and know that it can be reality. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe you.
Exactly.
And it's going to show in your work and when you meet people. It's just, oh man. So how do you feel like the economy has affected? Do you feel like there's been an effect in the industry?
Yeah, so it definitely goes up and down. And for me, like I'm not the best at business, to be honest. Like I'm a hustler at the end of the day. Like I'm turning it into a business, but freelance is pretty much just a hustle, to be honest. Like you got to be a hustler. So unfortunately with my path, the way that I've done it, it hasn't been as consistent, just the way that I've ran the whole business or whatever. But I can definitely see how the economy can affect it, but I have also seen the flip side where I have seen people that have never skipped a beat, and it's just the process and I guess whatever they're offering to people. So it's like it comes back to like the value, I guess, that you're providing for people, and that ultimately will determine if you're booking stuff even through a bad economy, because during COVID I've seen a lot of people's businesses flourish in the video world.
Yeah.
It's just if you take advantage of the opportunity or not.
Bars. Has social media helped you land gigs?
Yeah, so social media is probably like 85% of my gigs, to be honest. Not only from posting, but the word of mouth and everything from people seeing the work and everything like that. So I definitely think social media has, like, that's the only reason I have it. I don't love social media. I'm like a 90s baby. Like this stuff is, I don't love it at all.
That's how I am about it, but I'm trying to get back into it, especially doing social media marketing. What was it like seeing that shift? Like where it was like, okay, social media is a thing, we're all having fun, to businesses being like, we actually need a social media department. We actually need to sign influencers to push our brands.
Yeah, so when I first started, like, there was no, like, reels weren't even a thing. Like, TikTok wasn't a thing. I think it was like, I don't think it was MySpace at that time. It had to be like,
no.
I think it was Instagram.
Instagram was like 2011, and at that time you can only put a picture up.
Yeah, it was very limited on like what the world is like today. It's way more fast paced and stuff. But pretty much, what's your question?
What was it like seeing that shift from being like?
So the shift for me, like I said, I was still doing like the same, like the short form videos, like. So it was the same thing.
It's perfect.
It's really just like a new name for it now. Like,
like technology just catching up to what you're already doing.
Yeah, I was already doing short form stuff. So it wasn't like the only impact that I see is it's making people want you to book you more, to be honest.
Nice. All right. What's your dream project?
Travel the world and tell people stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to kind of do like mini documentaries and stuff. Like I'm an empath, man. So I like feel people's like everything, their emotions and all this kind of stuff. So whenever I come across somebody with like just a crazy story, like I really just want to be able to like capture that. And now like with my skills, like being able to cinematically capture that with beautiful imagery and stuff like that. Like, and also I just love to travel, bro. So like if I can combine all those things together to be able to get paid to do it, that ultimately sounds like the best thing for me.
And what would your documentaries be? Like feel-good documentaries or just like informative about things we don't know that we should know?
I like raw, gritty shit, man. So like I like stories that make you think, right? So like the stuff you don't want to hear to bring your eyes open to it. So like, for example, man, I almost teared up. Every time I talk about it, I almost tear up. But like, I met this dude at the grocery store the other day, and basically, like, I don't know why he's felt open to start telling me these stories, but he was telling me he still lives with his parents. He was born like early, like super early, like 26 weeks as a baby. They told him he was not gonna live. He's been going through surgeries his whole life, and it's like put his family in like $500,000 worth of debt. Like, shit like that makes you realize, bro, life really ain't that bad over here. You know what I mean? Bro. So it's like stuff like that, man. I feel like people don't think on that level a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I'm really just trying to like kind of flip the script and make you feel a little bit more gratitude for the life that you do have, because it could always be worse. Yeah,
we're desensitized to a lot of things lately. Dang, yeah. All right, what should we expect next from you, and where can we find you?
So what I'm expecting next, I'm not supposed to tell my next moves.
Don't not all of them. Like something that you already have,
yeah.
You know, that's coming out or something.
Yeah. So this series, like I'm starting that. So I've got a list of people that I've already like want to tell their story and stuff. So my thing was always like, man, I need budget. I don't have the money to do it, blah, blah, blah. But now, like I said, man, I'm tired of talking and I'm trying to put things into action. So I'm going to just start investing my time and my own resources as much as possible to start telling these stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. This is the segment where we do some random questions. All right. First, I know this is a little personal, so you can answer how you want to answer. Who are you voting for in 2024 and why?
So I was always told not to speak on politics or religion, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I love it because I have rebuttals for everyone's response because I'm respective of everyone's things like that. So the only thing that I always say about that is that it's interesting that we say that when politics and religion rule our worlds in so much, but that's a thing, and I respect it because that's literally how a lot of people I know have grown up. Like, we're not supposed to talk about it, even though it rules our world. Yeah. All right, number 2, what music do you work out to? Because I see you over there. You out here in these streets.
You want an artist or a genre?
Artist.
Caskey.
Caskey?
Do you know Caskey?
No.
Bro, go listen to that and it'll make you want to lift the whole gym, bro. Yeah, he's out of Florida. I don't remember where exactly. Somewhere in Florida, but he used to be signed to like Birdman and Cash Money and stuff. He's a white dude that's tatted.
Oh, word?
The hell up. Yeah, he's super tatted, but something about his like flow and his bars, bro. Like, it's just that fucking.
I'm gonna check it out.
Caskey, almost like a casket instead of a T at the end. It's a Y.
Okay. Him and who was it? Kenny Mason. I just discovered like last week. So I'm like, all right, Caskey.
Yeah, I like old school shit, and he kind of has that older vibe to him. You know what I mean? He's rapping bars and shit.
All right. What's the last movie you watched?
Last movie was the Bob Marley movie.
Did you like it?
It was pretty cool.
It was?
It was a little bit like less than I expected, but it was still like, it was cool.
Okay, my pop said he enjoyed it. I was
wondering.
I
like it.
What was the last show you binged?
Ozark.
That's the last show you binged?
Yeah,
Like,
because I rewatched it. Is
Oh,
what
okay.
it is. Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, that.
So I started, it was like a long time ago, and I think like it was season 4 was held up because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I quit after that, and then I was just like refreshed and just came back to it because one of my homies was actually in it. So I was just trying to watch to see if I could find him.
Dude, wasn't that last season just perfect?
Yeah.
It's just as perfect.
It was.
What was the last concert you went to?
Actually, one of my clients, Jay Howell.
Okay,
Yeah, he's
nice.
an R&B singer. He's up and coming, but bro, like honestly, after seeing it, I see him on the big stage, bro.
These are some of the music videos you've been posting?
Yeah, so I just recently posted that reel about seeing it playing on the screen and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Man, he sang his ass off for 2 hours straight, bro, hitting the high notes.
I love
to
his
low.
voice. There was a vibe. I like the music video too.
He's good, bro.
Yeah,
he's really good.
that's
yeah.
dope. This is really random. What was the last thing you ate?
This morning, are we counting the smoothie here or no? I'll tell you my breakfast. So I've been trying to eat clean, bro. I've been
Hell
on
yeah.
just like some scrambled eggs, plain, no cheese or nothing. I'm trying to cut all the dairy. Today was actually just kind of boring, bro. It's just some chicken thigh and some eggs and a salad.
Okay, you're really eating clean. I do egg whites and just avocado sometimes. You
Yeah,
just mash it
bro.
together,
I didn't have any avocado today, bro. I'm out. But I've gotten to the point where I don't like eating my eggs without avocado now. Yeah, I love some avocado.
I have to go through phases because it gets too much. All right, so this game is a play on Quick Time Islam from Drink Champs with Noriega, right? So pretty much, I'm gonna ask you, for example, like Tupac or Biggie. You have to just do it quick. Don't even think about it.
Just
okay?
answer.
Just
No,
answer.
I don't have to elaborate, right?
No, you don't have to
All right,
elaborate.
cool.
Okay. Canon or Sony?
Canon,
Ari or Red?
Ari,
Videography or photography?
videography,
Weddings or music videos?
music videos,
Outdoor shoot or indoor shoot?
outdoor,
Full frame or micro four thirds cameras?
full frame,
Film, photography lights or natural light?
lights, I need lights. Once I learn lighting, we have to have some lights.
Yeah, the way you answered it, like you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, bro. It was such a good time talking to you like this.
For sure.
I love working with you when I do get a chance to. So thank you for coming through and blessing us today. This is the Everybody Hates You podcast with Dean Gibson. Tell them where to follow you.
You can follow me at Real Dean Gibson, RealDeanGibson.
Hell yeah, we're out. We'll check you on the next one. All right, peace and love.
That was dope.
Hell yeah, bro.
That wasn't dope. Let's do that again.
Molly. Everybody hates you, everybody not you. Some people lack integrity.